Hey
guys. We're back.
Paul.
How are y'all doing? Tammy.
50 Plus Life 360. We are here again at
Mapco.
Drinking coffee this time in the afternoon.
It won't be Mapco very long, will it, dear?
No, they got sold to
Circle K.
Circle K. Yep. So we'll see how that transition is. I hope they keep the Subway in here because it is the best Subway around. But,
and the coffee's amazing too.
Yep. But we're just going to kind of recap what happened yesterday, and we're on the, I think this is our third video of our
vlog series.
Vlogging, yeah. So we got lots of other videos up that you can check out, and if you like what you see, subscribe, like
and comment. Please.
And,
we'd love to hear from you.
Share it with everybody. We are new to YouTube. We've only been doing it less than a year, so our content's kind of all over the place. We're just trying to figure out what works, but we're just kind of giving our life now more of a daily recap, and we'll take you along for some adventures. I'm slowly learning how to do this on the phone because we were using the GoPro and computer to do our editing, and now we're doing it on the phone. So I haven't started interlacing some videos of stuff yet, but I will as we go along. So anyway, I just want to start today's video by telling you she lied.
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Well, she told me after our long ride the other day on the motorcycle, she says we need to rest. So we're going to not ride for about a week. So that lasted one day. We rested on Tuesday, and she got up yesterday morning. She was already dressed, getting her boots out, and she says, "You're going to take me on a ride today?" And I was like, well, it's just going to be a short ride in my mind. Nah. We get out there to the bike. We start polishing up like we do before every ride. And I said, where are we going? She said, how about let's go to Oxford? Well, if you don't know where Oxford, Alabama is, you don't really need to. Just know that it's about 75 miles from our house. So there and back round trip, 160 miles, give or take. So yeah, needless to say, another long ride. But I will say I did a lot better this time. My hands weren't as sore. I actually made it all the way to Oxford, which the route we took, it ended up being 85 miles. And I didn't really have any problem. Made it all the way without stopping and resting and shaking my hands and all that. So
They did.
it wasn't too bad. But we took this scenic route. We went down US 280. I guess that's eastbound. And then we got to a little town called Sylacauga, and we got on Alabama 76. And that lasted about 12 miles. And then we got on Alabama 21, which I think we've only been on 21 one time. That was when we went to Talladega and bought that car that was Caleb's, that little blue one. Yeah, we bought it there and drove. There's a guy over here smoking, so it's not very pleasant.
It just kind of whoops in our face.
Yeah, but anyways, but yeah, 21's a really nice highway for motorcycles. We rode for probably, I think that was 30 miles on 21 going into Oxford. So it was a really, really nice ride. It had a couple little tiny towns, and we actually passed Mount, you're going to have to help me with this, Cheaha. It is the highest point in Alabama. It's a nice little day trip if anybody's in the area of, say, Atlanta or Chattanooga or somewhere in Georgia
or Birmingham.
Yeah. And it's a nice little ride up to the top of the mountain, and it's got some camping. I don't think there's too many amenities. We went up there on the e-bikes a few months back, and it wasn't really a whole lot, just overlooks and camping spots. But it's really cool. But we passed by there. We didn't go up there yesterday. And then we went on through Talladega, which is, anybody that's a NASCAR fan, you know about Talladega Super Speedway. We didn't go to the Speedway. Speedway's technically in a little town called Lincoln, but it's in Talladega County, so they call it Talladega Super Speedway. And she don't like it, but the truth is Talladega is actually pronounced Talladega. It's not Talladega like everybody says. There's an E in there that's not pronounced with the A sound, but everybody gets it wrong except the locals. I used to work in Oxford, and everybody over there that grew up there, lived there, everything, always said Talladega. And I started asking around, why do y'all say Talladega? And it turns out that's how it's pronounced.
It must be an Indian name, isn't it?
It's an Indian. It originates from, I think, the Porch or the Creek Indians.
Okay.
But we went by that area, got into Oxford, and the first stop we made was...
The Hooligans?
No. We got
Panda
lunch.
Express.
Yeah, we went to Panda
Yes.
Express. And we put a short up. If you go to our channel and look at some of our shorts, I showed how to make a DIY toothpick.
Right.
When you get some of that juicy
Something
goodness
in
stuck in your teeth.
Yes.
And there's no toothpicks around. They got chopsticks, but they're kind of big for a toothpick. Unless you're a giant.
Or you have some major buck teeth.
Yeah, or a big gap between your teeth. But yeah, we went to Panda. I love eating at Panda, but sometimes going with her is a mess because she gets kind of upset about some of the portions they give you. And we're trying to learn all the lessons about that, because some people say if you're eating there, they'll give you that plate and you get less, but if you ask for it to go, you get the styrofoam box and they tend to load it up more. But
we tend to think it's more about the size of the person that's giving you food.
yeah, tip number one, get the fat kid
Yeah.
to give you the portions. And I can say that because I'm a fat kid. I was a fat kid. I still...
No offense to you skinny girls
Kinda
or
am a
whatever,
fat
but
kid.
you know, y'all eat nothing, I guess.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, it's like, oh, you look like you need to lose some weight. I'm just going to give you a little bit of food.
Right. That's
No,
what they
no.
do, it seems like.
If I'm in line and there's a fat kid and a skinny kid working, I'll let somebody behind me go in front of me and make sure I get the fat kid to get the biggest portions I can, because they will skimp you out a little bit on the portions. Oh, they don't care giving you all the rice in the world and all the noodles and all the greens, but when it comes to your entrees, and that drives me crazy too. They call it entree and they give you this much, but your side, they give you this much.
Personally, I think they should weigh it so everybody gets the same, because I think it's not fair. You'll look over and one guy's getting piled up with food, and then you come by and you get this little tiny little nothing.
A little morsel.
I think that's crazy. They do the same thing at like Japanese hibachi restaurants. When you're at the hibachi, if you look like you're big and fat and you need to lose a little weight, they don't give you much.
And the guy in front of us,
funny.
The guy in front of us, he had the scrubs on.
We're not huge.
No. We're not huge. We're just big
We're
enough
a little
to
overweight,
where we're
right?
like, I'm a little bit more and a little overweight, but I like to eat. But yeah, the guy in front of us, a little thing about that big around, he had scrubs on, so he's some kind of anesthesiologist, I think, because he was wearing blue scrubs. And he was asking for the greens and the healthiest entrees.
Well, we wanted the greens too.
And he wanted to make sure they had bottled water and not tap water. And he was very health conscious, obviously, but they loaded him up. We sat there and watched him, and then the same little lady that loaded him up was kind of skimpy on her portion. So it was enough to aggravate you, but enough about Panda Express.
Well, while we're on that topic, we can discuss like why people put people in boxes. Like, oh, you weigh such and such a pounds, you're in this box. You are skinny, so you're in this box. Like, I don't get this. I think it goes along with a little bit of everything in life. He's looking for a job right now, and as we all know, from our channel name, 50 Plus Life 360.
I'm over 50.
He's 56.
And it's hard to find a job.
Yeah,
you get discriminated
so
against.
many.
It's true. There's age discrimination out there. And we're finding a lot about the job market. I mean, my son got upset with his job. He quit. He's got a very good resume, a lot of experience, and he's applied for over 125 jobs, and he's not gotten any callbacks. So it's a tougher job market than you're led to believe.
Right.
And it's especially tougher if you're a little bit older.
But back to putting you in the box. I mean,
yeah.
they kind of look at your resume, or a bot does, and says, oh, he graduated in 1985.
Yeah.
He must be an old geezer, you know? So.
Yeah, but I've ran into a few companies that they don't ask for every single job you ever had in your life, and they don't ask what year you graduated, because that's an easy tip-off for the age, with the years of experience and all those things. But anyway, we left there, and we went to Hooligans, Harley Davidson, right? And we didn't see much there. I mean, there's motorcycles.
But we love the name. We can't wait till we can get to our next payday or so and maybe get a shirt that says Hooligans. That's just a neat
Hooligans
name.
is a cool name. We met a nice girl there. She's was talking to us, and she helped me fit the handlebars a little bit, tell me what to do to adjust them to keep from getting so numb when you ride. If any of you riders out there got any tips, I mean, she was kind of telling me to get them equal with my shoulder, get
the
my
handlebars
arms. Yeah,
equal?
my arms. But the problem is I'm short, and when you move the handlebars to get the height, you move them away from you, which makes you lean further, which complicates problems with your back, and they call it a triangle of fit. The handlebars, your back, and your foot position, and I've got to kind of figure that out. We figured it out with our e-bikes. That wasn't too hard. You could, and it's a lot easier to tinker with an e-bike and get things.
You can adjust the handlebar
right.
and just
a few seconds flat.
Ratchet.
Yeah, but a motorcycle, you got a cover you got to take off. You got some wires you got to move out of the way. Then you got a bunch of bolts you got to loosen, because everything's tighter because of the vibration. But we did Hooligans, and then we noticed while we were there, I've been through Oxford a lot and never really paid it attention. I think it's changed since the last time I was working over there, but there's a lot of antique malls, antique booth type places, and we hit a couple of those.
Right.
And
pretty nice stuff they have. I mean, their quality over there, you know, you think out in this podunk, you know, kind of country town, even though it's I would say it's a moderately sized city over there. You'd think that the quality of the antiques at antique markets would be a little bit less and a little bit more shoddy, but not so much. It's actually got some really good quality antiques for fairly decent prices.
Yeah, and the only thing I noticed this over there was a couple of them they put up their antique mall, and you go in, and a lot of the places were more, I want to boutique-y. They had a lot of new,
pardon that, Harley,
a lot of new
over there.
furniture that they distressed and tried to make look antique, and some of the stuff was new, and it's just like, well, it's not fully an antique place, but I mean, I've been in a lot of antique malls where it's just, there's 2 or 3 booths. Usually the owners are real particular about it. They'll tell the people, and I know this because Tammy's had several antique booths in her day, but they'll say, hey, we don't want, you know, this, we don't want that, we don't want new stuff, we don't do clothes. But sometimes they'll let 1 or 2 people try it and just see how it does. But there was some neat antiques there. I found a lot of stuff that if I had money, I would have spent the money on. But you know, I've got a little short video I haven't put up yet, but there was this one neat booth. The guy had a whole lot of, like, I don't want to say toy stuff, but it was mostly collector type stuff. He had old lunch boxes and old figures, like your action figures and things like that. A few comic books, and I thought it was neat. It was one of the most interesting booths that I had been to. But anyway, we left those. What did we do after that? Oh, we went to Pelican.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, Pelican Ice.
If you've never been to a Pelican Ice before, they have some good ices. We love them because they have a good selection of sugar-free flavors for diabetics. So,
yep. And another good thing about them is they're one of the shaved ice places. If you've ever tried to make it at home, you probably know what I'm talking about. But you shave that ice, and it's kind of gritty and grainy and coarse. Their shaved ice, or snowballs as they call them, is like super, super fine. So it soaks up the syrup a lot better, and it gives you that syrup all the way through, as opposed to coarser ice. The syrup just drops to the bottom, and all the stuff at the top is ice, and you're just eating ice. But they're really good. They have, it's hard to find Snowball places that have a lot of selection of sugar-free.
And ones that are super, super yummy.
Yeah.
Ones that aren't watered down, or they only give you a little bit of syrup. These particular places give you a good size amount of syrup.
Yep. And then we took off from there, decided to head home. It was already like 4:45, 5 o'clock, something like that. And on the way over, Tammy had spotted a sign about a covered bridge.
And a gristmill.
And there's a lot of covered bridges in Alabama. I think there's a short I put up of a covered bridge we visited a few months ago, but we decided on the way back that we were going to take a little detour and stop there. And we got there, it was already 6:15 or so, and they had already closed. And they had the honor payment system where you drop the money in a little box, and we didn't have cash, so we couldn't pay. So we didn't want to trespass too much, but we looked around. We did have a little emergency.
Right.
I'll just ask you the question: does a bear pee in the woods?
That's
well,
bad.
I know two bears.
Sorry.
I know two bears that had to go pee in the woods yesterday. So we got that out of the way, because riding on that motorcycle, you got to stay hydrated, but you also it'll make your bladder kind of work.
It'll vibrate it right out of you.
Yeah. So we walked around a little bit, and I've already posted pictures on the community page with pictures of the covered bridge and the grist mill. Now the grist mill wasn't working. That's what we find a lot in Alabama. There's a bunch of grist mills, they're old historical buildings, and the wheels don't work anymore. They don't grind anymore with them. They had the grinding stone out there in the front and things like that, but it's just too much when they're not in operation to keep them up. So, but it's a real nice site, and there's a campground next door. They've got a pavilion where it's screened in with a bunch of picnic tables and things, and then there's outdoor picnic tables, and of course the little creek runs through there, and I think it's called Kyluga, Kyluga was the name of the
G-O-U or G-H or something at the end or something.
Yeah, something like that, but I think I've got a picture of it somewhere.
I could probably
the name of
look it up.
But anyway.
But shout out to Hobo Shoestring. That would be a great adventure for him to see if he could get a train to get off in front of that location, because a train track runs in front of, directly in front of this grist mill. And there's a little RV parking section over to one side that people can camp overnight.
Yeah.
And
there's plenty.
It's just so beautiful. I can't imagine what it's going to be like in the fall.
And there's plenty of woods there for setting up a hobo camp. Shoestring. So
we love Hobo Shoestring, guys. If y'all have never checked out Hobo Shoestring, that you should. We highly recommend him. He's pretty awesome. We love watching his videos and his footage of him riding freight trains. It's pretty epic. Yeah. And he does have a house. He's not an official homeless hobo.
No, he's just loves.
He's a sanitary hobo.
He loves to ride the rails. But it was a really neat stop, and we got to see that, and we got home at a decent time, and surprisingly I wasn't as tired as I was the time before.
The grist mill is spelled Kymulga. Kymulga Grist Mill Park and Covered Bridge. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Kymulga.
And it's located
near Childersburg, Alabama.
Right. So if you want to check that out, it's pretty amazing, and it'd be really awesome to be there when there was a train going through as well. So it'd be even more nostalgic like.
Yeah, and another thing Tammy reminded me to mention before we close this video down, besides like, subscribe, share, comment, what we'd like to tell you about is the community page. And I don't know if a lot of you know about
How to
YouTube.
access it?
Yeah, YouTube community page. But everybody that has a channel, after you've posted so many videos, you can access a community as a user, as a YouTuber. You can access a community page where you can put up pictures. You can type in a bunch of. You can type in a bunch of text. You can, put descriptions of your upcoming videos. You can put little short clips in there and things like that. But a lot of folks that watch YouTube don't get the opportunity to look at the community page because we found that it's not accessible if you're using the YouTube app on your television.
And we use it probably primarily
Yeah.
on our television. We don't watch as much YouTube
On a computer.
on our phone or something unless, number one, we're in the car or something, or
Yeah, traveling,
on the
doing
computer, something like that, but we're rarely at the computer.
But when you go to a person's channel, now this is just on the computer or the phone, but when you go to access someone's channel, you just basically at the top, there are these little tabs for videos, shorts, live, and then if you go over to the right, there's community, and you can click on community and you can access the community tab. And we've just started using it. Actually, I noticed it from Hobo Shoestring. And if you subscribe to us, our pictures will show up in your YouTube feed on your phone or computer, but they won't show up on your television. But Hobo Shoestring I started seeing just pictures, and I said, well, how's he putting pictures on YouTube? And then I started investigating a little bit and found out about the community page. And you can get a lot more in-depth information, and until we really get good at interlacing our videos with using the phone, we're going to put some pictures and stuff on the community page. So go and check that out too, please. And we're hitting about the 20 couple minute mark, so I guess it's about time to close this one down.
And once again, please feel free to comment below, and we'll respond to your comments.
Yeah, we're at the point with the number of comments we get, we can still easily respond to every comment. Sometimes it's just a like on your comment when you give us a comment, because it doesn't really need a response. But if you're asking a question, or if you're just saying something that we feel like we'd respond to, we're actively engaged with the folks that are subscribing to us now, and we'd like to engage with everyone. So and give us a shout out, share us to your social media so we can get more followers. When we get, Tammy mentioned it, I think the last video or maybe the one before, but when we get to 500 subscribers, we're going to put everybody's name in a hat or a pot, or however we're going to do it, and we're going to randomly draw out a name to win a gift card.
And we're going to do this every 500 subscribers. So 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, on and on and on and on throughout the life of the channel.
And the trick to it is you have to actually subscribe via having a YouTube account so that we can see who you are, because a lot of people subscribe, but because they're scared of social media or whatever, they want to use YouTube, they use like a shadow account, or they just don't really log in, but they subscribe.
Which doesn't make sense, because they could at least they don't have to put their real name as the name of their YouTube account. Or
you can make a ghost channel or a ghost email and just do all your subscriptions through that if you want. We're scared of all that stuff, but we're leery of technology. We're just not scared of it. So it's not something we're paranoid about. But you've got to be a verified YouTuber so we know your name, so we can reach out to you in case you win. So there you go.
Definitely.
But anyway, I guess we'll wrap it up for today. Y'all stay safe out there.
Right.
And what do you say? Take it
easy.
And take the fast way home.
Yes.